What up? This is Rashid Davis, former Chicago Bear wide receiver. Yeah, that guy. And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but they don't know jack.
What up? We live. We back. It's the podcast where we think we know everything, but we don't know shit. But what I do know, I'm tired of this MF and snow. I'm tired of this goddamn snow. What you say, JB?
Man, if I never see another snow, it can be a snow cone. I don't want to see it.
Big Will, what up?
What's happening?
Man, I know you got that big ass driveway, so I know you've been shoveling a lot of snow.
Hey, man, look. Quiet as it kept, I couldn't even get out there today yet, so I'm struggling. So I already put a shot of SOS signal up on the Creek community page, see who I shovel snow, because I need it. If anybody in the Creek area need a job tonight, I got a driveway for you to take care of. So.
JI, what's good, homie?
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna tag Will on my Facebook page because I got a lot of Facebook friends that say that's all they do. They go out, they shovel their snow, they shovel the neighbor's snow, they do the whole block. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of big capping on Facebook. Let them tell it.
I did say that, but I damn sure ain't gonna shovel Will snow. That driveway big as hell. I ain't doing that.
Hey, shots fired. I didn't know you were one of the guys. Because let the people on Facebook tell it they shovel everybody's snow.
I do.
I can't think of a chore that's more physically taxing than shoveling snow. I can't think.
Man. So anyway, today I'm fired up, boy. We got Montell Ice Griffin waiting to get in here and chop it up about his book. And man, this dude from Simeon to Finger to the Olympics to fighting with James Toney 2 times.
Yeah.
Then fighting Roy Jones Jr. 2 times. Man, I mean, this dude has lived a good life. And he had a lot of according to his book, I ain't gonna say it. I'll let him say it. But let's bring him in, man. Montell Ice Griffin. Yeah. Montell, good to have you, brother.
What's happening, man? What's going on?
What's good, Sam? It's good to have you.
Thanks for having me, bro.
All right now.
So how you feeling, man?
Oh, everything cool, man. Just tired of this weather, man.
Man,
that's like
man, who you telling?
Just tired of it, man.
Just no, man. I'm telling you. So, man, what you were boxing since age 3, dog? 3.
I mean, I was in the gym. My father bought Johnny Coulin's gym, Johnny Coulin's boxing club from Johnny Coulin in '73, and he changed it and renamed it to Windy City Boxing Club.
Okay.
Because fell in love with the gym, so I was in the gym every day. But I mean, I had some experience. I was around, I was in the gym. All my sparring partners was older than me, bigger than me, beat me up every day. But it kind of actually probably helped me get tougher.
Right.
But, I had a few fights. I didn't have a lot of fights.
You didn't have a lot of fights? They didn't want that smoke. They didn't want that smoke.
You said what?
They didn't want them hands. They didn't want them hands. That's why you ain't have a lot of fights.
No, I'm saying I didn't have a lot of amateur fights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in the gym, but it was nobody really my age. It was just like I was able to go to a couple of tournaments, but I didn't have that much experience. I had a couple of fights, and in '83, my father passed away, and I quit boxing.
Yeah, and then you picked it back up, right?
So, I'm sorry to hear that.
I came back in 2001, so I took off 8 years.
So let's kind of talk about that. What brought you back? Because obviously your father was a strong point and led you to the boxing career. As we read that he had ties and a friendship with Muhammad Ali. What was the thing that struck a chord with you and said, let's come on back? This is my God-given talent, and let's make this thing happen.
Well, my mother made me quit in '83 when my father passed away, and I just grew up as a regular teenager. And then in December '90, one of my best friends got killed. I'm sorry, December '89, one of my best friends got killed, Reuben Jones. And then when he passed away, I had never got a chance to mourn my father.
Mm-hmm.
I was young, and I just tried to block it out like it didn't happen. So when Reuben passed away, I mourned both of them, and went through a lot and everything. And I got up to like 210 pounds. Wasn't doing nothing, just getting fat. And my nephew just happened to call me. We were talking. He was in LA. He was like, "Man, what you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." He was like, "Why don't you come to LA and start back boxing?" I said, "All right." And I answered so soon. He didn't believe me. I said, "Man," I said, I'm not doing nothing. And I end up selling my car and buying a ticket to get out there.
And you picked up boxing immediately when you got out there?
Yeah, because I got there December '90. The Olympics in '92. That was my goal, to make the Olympic team. So I wanted to get going, and it was just like my mother. My mother made me quit boxing, but she knew the game. Like she even, because I got there December '90, and I had my first fight in like January of '91. After being off 8 years, and my mother was like, "Man, you ain't in enough shape. Like, why are you fighting?" And I said, "I got to see how good I am. I got to see, that was my goal, was to make the Olympic team, and I just wasn't gonna be denied." And I came out there. My first 2 fights was at heavyweight. So I was coming down from 210. I'm 5'7", fighting heavyweight. So I broke my thumb my first fight. My second fight, my nose got broke. So I was like, "Man, I gotta go down like heavyweight. These guys too big for me." So I went down, and it was crazy. Like, I appreciate my man getting the book and everything. That's mad respect. My life was just so crazy, man. It was, yeah, my respect. I appreciate my life is so crazy, bro. Like I ain't the greatest fighter ever. I don't have the best life ever, but man, my life was so crazy from the routes I had to take and everything I had to go through in my life. That's why I just let everybody know. What I'm saying, I came out with the book, and I really believe that if the right person, if it touched the right hands, they can make a movie about my life. I really believe that.
I couldn't agree more. I've been a big fan. I believe. Yeah, I was in college when you fought Roy Jones, and I this guy's from Chicago, and I had some buddies that followed your career a little more closely. And at this time, the Bulls were making their run, so everything Chicago at school that we were 100% behind. And I've been a huge a huge follower of what you do, and I couldn't help but notice you have a strong following, like a healthy relationship with a lot of fighters. And I just want to know, how did you cultivate that? Because I see on your social media, I see you with like a lot of legends, champs, and I see Montell Griffin with Tommy Hearns, Montell Griffin with Buster Douglas. So how did you cultivate those relationships?
Well, just start off with my father. His personal relationships and hookups and everything. I met Muhammad Ali when I was 5 years old, I met Tommy Hearns when I was like 8, 9 years old. I was just around greatness my whole life. Jimmy Ellis, Tony Tubbs, and just boxers. All fighters have respect for other fighters. So you know what I'm saying. So you meet the guys who you see on TV and everything, and there's always something about them that you look up to. So it's cool when y'all see each other and meet and everything. But I just try to on social media, man. I just try to reach out and show different experiences and different things about life that that people wouldn't normally see. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to show people, what you go through, what the ins and outs and everything of what's going on.
Okay, that's
Montell, something I found interesting in this book when after you went to LA. And whoever's typing, man, you typing fast as hell, but could you kind of stop?
I don't know what that is. I don't think none of us is typing.
But I was saying, Montell, after you went back to LA and got back into fighting, and you said you was on the basketball court, and you were playing with another fighter. That fighter told you to keep your head up and keep on pushing. That happened to be Roy Jones Jr. I mean, wow. How did you feel about that? What you realized? Go ahead.
Not to cut you off. It's just crazy how I was just talking about this earlier, like 20 minutes ago. I was watching something about D.L. Hewley was talking about where he was at doing comedy, and I was there. And I said, that's crazy. I was there when he was doing it. And it's just crazy that we was at the fights. We was at the fights, and the kid was like, man, there go that kid, Roy Jones, who got robbed. And I turned to look, I'm like, man, that is him. So I fought Jeremy Williams. I won the fight. I didn't get the decision. So I was at the tournament. So I said, what the hell? So I went up to the gym to shoot some ball. And I saw Roy Jones, and they picked teams, and I stuck him. And I played him. I stuck him. I told him what happened and everything. He said, bro, you saw what happened to me. He said, man, just keep your head up and keep moving forward. And that helped me. That helped me, and it was vital. And like you said, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We talked about it. He don't remember, but we talked about it. But it made a big difference.
Montell, you mentioned basketball. Do you have any basketball players in your family?
Man, I'm trying to X out these. Oh, there. Not in the family. I just what happened was my father passed away when I was 12, going on 13. I couldn't box no more, so I had to find something else to do. And basketball became my love. So I got involved in basketball. I played ball, and I was decent. You know what I'm saying? I was good enough. I couldn't shoot. I could dribble and I could pass because I always wanted to play with the big guys. And when you play with the big guys, you can't shoot. So I never learned how to shoot. And but I love the game. And you know what I'm saying? I just say this. I was good enough to have a daughter come up, and my daughter playing pro ball in Bosnia right now. So she got it from me. So evidently, I have to be halfway decent. I got a daughter playing pro ball in Bosnia.
That's definitely what I was getting at. I saw some videos
right now.
I saw some videos of you guys playing 1-on-1.
So
I was fat and out of shape. I was overweight.
You used to play football too, didn't you?
Football was my best sport. Football.
Yeah.
I was born to be a football player. You
just never pursued it, huh?
No,
so
my
you
mother
just
wouldn't let me. My mother.
She would. I think that was in the book too. That she wouldn't let you. Play.
Yeah. I played football every Sunday. I played football every Sunday for at least from maybe 14 to 18. Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, get away from there.
Uh-oh.
No. Go back. I should
Hey,
let you out.
where was that football
Go back
played
and
at?
But anyway,
Where was that football played at on Sunday?
Oh, it was parks all over Chicago. Yeah, Euclid Park, West Pullman Park,
That's what I'm getting at.
Fernwood, Mount Vernon.
Yeah. You used to come out there. I think we didn't play against each other, but I used to watch some of them legendary games because you used to come out there to the Force Reserve on 127 to play. And I seen you play a couple times out there.
I live on 121st in Wentworth, so yeah.
I know.
And then play out there.
We got a mutual friend, Reno. I remember you guys used to come celebrate the fights up there in Lansing on like Friday and Saturday night. You know, used to look out for all us up there in Reno. And we used to come up there with the celebration, man. I remember it was big fun, man. You kind of reached out to all of us, man, and we totally appreciated that around them times.
Oh, that's cool, man. I just always try to be myself, and you know what I'm saying. If you be yourself, man, you ain't got to remember how to act.
Right.
See people. You know what I'm saying?
Great point.
Be yourself. Man, if you just be yourself, man, you ain't got to remember, you know what I'm saying, to be phony and this and all and that thing.
You ain't got to remember the lies you told.
I mean, as far as like, right. But it was like, man, I was a Chicago kid. I hung out, I hung around Muhammad Ali. So one thing I noticed about Muhammad Ali, he never acted funny with nobody. He never was arrogant. He never was, you know, a bad guy. Nothing with no fans. So when I saw him doing it, I could do nothing but pick that off for him. And you know, I wasn't never no superstar, no big star, nothing like that. But you know, I got, you know, people ask me to take pictures and autographs, whatever. I could never turn them down because, like I said, Muhammad Ali couldn't do it. There's no way I could do it. So I just tried to be a real cat.
And we need that, especially for the youth, which great lead into my question. All of us on these panels, we do give back. We do work with kids. My question to you is, how does a kid that doesn't really know how to get into it? I was in the Golden Glove growing up. How does a kid today get into the boxing game?
Well, it's gyms all over Chicago. Good gyms, good trainers. If you're on the low end, South Side, low end, wherever, I'm in Pilsen, 2150 South Canal Port. Clarence Griffin with the City Boxing Club. We've been open for 3 years. At that you know, particular spot, this is our the third location from, you know, 1154 63rd Street, back in '73. But yeah, you know, right now there's no amateur boxing in Chicago, but like I got a program with After School Matters at my gym, and I also have my new, you know, so my foundation, Windy City Boxing Youth Foundation. So I give out 30 scholarships to kids to come work out and train, and you know, so my class is doing real good. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, whatever side of town you're on, check and see where your closest gym is. But you know what I'm saying, I'm on the long end, right off Cermak. Come down Clarence Griffin with City Boxing Club.
We appreciate that, man. We got a lot of kids that we would love to send your way. Thank you.
But tell love the kids.
Yeah. I got my man Donnell Nicholson. Huh?
Were you saying something, Montell?
Oh no, I couldn't hear you guys. Okay, now I can hear you guys.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. In your book, man, you started off at so I'm backing up a little bit. You started off at Simeon, and you said that you didn't live a good life. Man, it sounds like when you was at Simeon, you was living real nice. You was meeting all kinds of ladies. You was hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, my whole boxing lifestyle changed. You know, when I stopped boxing, I just grew up as a regular teenager. You know, we smoked some weed, drinking, hanging out. Like at my school, it was a liquor store called Dino's on 79th and Halsted, and people who know about the Morgan Classic, they had Morgan is a park right by the school, and they had a tournament every year. And I asked one of the coaches, I'm like, man, can we get what can we get somebody to cop? Get some beer. He said, well, yeah, cop. He said, man, I can tell you the store you can walk in, your little sister can walk in and buy. I said, man, you gotta be joking. And I went to Dino's, got my first 40 ounce. I told everybody in the neighborhood, man, we was there every night, boy.
What you was drinking? Odds or OE?
So y'all gotta understand, my brother 10 years older than me. So I started drinking with my brother when I was 13 years old.
No.
So from 13 years old to I want to say a year ago, man, I was a terrible drinker, man.
I saw on Facebook a couple of months ago. I want to say maybe about 6-7 months ago. You gave up drinking like pop.
I gave all the sugar we're on.
Yeah. You said
You said what?
You said you dropped a lot of weight by doing that.
Man, I saw Derek James in Texas. Earl Spence trainer. That's my man. We was amateurs together. And I was like, man, how you get so small? He said, man, I just left the sugar alone. Because I became a pescatarian. I had lost weight and everything was cool. But you know what I'm saying? I started getting thicker. And I couldn't control it. Like, man, I'm just at this point in my life, I'm just gonna be overweight. And I left the sugar alone. For real, I just like, man, I'm gonna be chubby. I mean, because I gave up meat. I was pescatarian and I still wasn't happy with my weight. So I went to Nebraska with Bud Crawford for 2 weeks. We was in the gym training with him. So I ran with them every day for 2 weeks, and I trained every day, and I left the sugar alone. And I got under 200 pounds for the first time in like 8 years. And I left the sugar alone, and I want to say a month and a half later, I lost like 11 more pounds, and I got down to like 187. It's been the lightest I've been. Man, I can't remember last time I walked around 187. Probably,
you know what?
Maybe 15 years ago.
I'm so motivated by that. I'm going through my social media. I'm looking at Facebook one day, and you mentioned it, and I said, let me get out a try. Because I wake up in the morning drinking Coke and Pepsi and all that. I said, I'm gonna just give it up. And I said, I might as well give up the sweets and stuff too. And I saw the weight drop. And I said the same thing. I said, I'm not tall enough. I ain't got a tall frame. And the way my genetics set up, I can't do that anymore. But you were definitely inspiration.
Man, check this out, man. I want to say thank you. Man, I'm 50 years old. I've been wearing 38s my whole life. I just had to go down to size 36. I got one pair of jeans that fit. I got like 45 pair of 38s upstairs. I can't wear no more. So I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with this lifestyle.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So, what did I want to ask you? I wanted to ask you something.
Terrence, there's a question though in the comments from.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get to that too. Deja 1972, she was asking, can training by boxing, can that be beneficial for other sports?
It's the greatest cardio in the world. Like I trained Stephen Hunter, NBA player. I train football players. I train all different types of guys, and they said, man, it was the best. They was in the best shape ever when they went to camp. I just tell like a lot of mothers. I said just because they come to the gym to train, don't mean they got to get in the ring and spar or fight and everything. But just learning the discipline of boxing, it just helps you out. It helps you out tremendously. I just say like this: because of boxing, everything I've done in my life is easy. It's easy compared to boxing. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great. I mean, it's great for kids, for discipline, to have them in the gym and let them learn a little bit.
That's cool because I know boxing is grueling, man. I've seen some training and things like that. I guess you got to make it for them three minutes every round. So, man, man, my hat's off to all boxers.
Hey, I've got to ask this because I've seen a lot of boxing cross training and things like that, and now it's got the ordinary guy, the average Joe, thinking he can get in there and box with legitimate boxers. How do you feel about that? Like, I would love to see boxers boxing boxers again.
Boxers.
I mean, okay, you got Conor McGregor. He's the only one who really got in with a real boxer. But ain't nobody really getting in. Ain't no phony guys getting in with no real boxer and really, gonna do something. First thing about Conor McGregor and Floyd, first thing I bet was I knew it was gonna go. First thing I knew was Conor McGregor had never went over 25 minutes in his career. He cannot go 36 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I knew he was gonna get stopped by being tired. So I bet on that. You know what I'm saying? I bet that. That's what I bet. I knew he was gonna get tired. But yeah, I mean, I know what you guys saying about like the Logan brothers and all. No, the Paul brothers.
Right. Logan Paul.
Yeah. I really don't really have nothing against that. I mean, I hate that Nate Robinson got embarrassed and he gonna have to deal with this rest of his life. But
you said
I don't have no problem
embarrassed.
with them. I don't have no problem with those guys. If they good enough and smart enough to get a million followers and being able to put a fight together, whatever, I don't knock that. I mean, they saying they taking money out of fighters. They're not taking money out of fighters because people paying to see them. Fighters half the time, especially if they black fighters, they don't have no fans. So basically, that's why black fighters don't make money. Black fighters don't make money until people hate them. And that was Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Floyd Mayweather. That's when they start making money. When people pay money, when people pay money to see you win and see you lose, that's when you get famous. That's when you make a lot of money.
So another great segue. I know you got to go, but just bear with me, please. Where is the state of boxing now? Because, like right now, I'm looking at like the middleweight division used to be, that's where it's at. Hearns, Duran, Sugar Ray. Then, of course, the heavyweights. For a long time, we had the old cruiserweight division. I know you remember that.
Yeah. Now, boxing is in good hands right now. You got to remember from heavyweight, you got Joshua, you got Wilder, you got Fury. You know what I'm saying? And then even though Andre Ward retired, now you got Canelo moving up to 68. You got the Russian boys, B-Ball, and the other kid. Boxing is doing great.
But see, that's my question. It seems like it's more international stars. Like, where's the brothers from here? I mean, we got Bud, we got the Charlo brothers, Spence, Sean Porter. But they're not getting the paydays. Like you said. But I'm saying they're not getting the paydays.
Yeah.
Like Tyson Fury and Canelo walk in, that's 10 plus automatic.
Well, okay.
$49.99 on pay-per-view.
Tyson Fury and Canelo not black. You know what I'm saying? Black's the only race that don't support each other.
Oh.
I mean, like I said, we don't support each other. So that's why we don't make the money. Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, and Mike Tyson, the last pretty much three in the last 30 years. Ray Leonard to become a superstar and make money. Blacks don't, they don't support each other. So they don't make money until people start paying to see you lose.
Yeah, that is so
but
true.
Like I said, Spence and Crawford need to get that fight put together. That's a big fight that gotta happen. Canelo and Charlo is a fight that gotta happen. Let's see what happened with Fury and Joshua. Get Wilder back in the mix. See what happened with all of them. Boxing is doing great right now, man. Boxing doing great right now. Devontae Davis, all these up and coming, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo. Man, boxing is doing great right now. It's in great hands.
So let me ask you this before we go. Man, how did you feel when you saw Roy get back in the ring? Was you like, man, I could do that too?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was texting Roy. I text Roy the whole camp up to the fight. I texted him the day of the fight, and after the fight. You know, of course, I'm at 50 years old. I pretty much stayed in pretty good shape. I've been sparring young guys, and I know right now I can still do it. The only thing about me is all the guys my weight class, they are over 200 pounds now. I'm only around 188, 189, 190 at the heaviest. So I had to get a smaller guy. I got called up. I ain't going to say no names or whatever, but I got called about doing an exhibition against a former world champ. So I'm going to see what happens. Hopefully if it come together, we can do it on that Tyson Holyfield on the card.
Okay.
Keep us posted. We gonna support for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah,
Other black people might not, but we will.
You got.
We also
gonna. You got 4 people paying for the pay-per-view for sure.
Yep.
You got 4 that's gonna pay for the pay-per-view for sure.
Hey, we also are gonna support this book, man. This a good read, man. It's a real good read, and we definitely gonna help. We're definitely gonna help you put it out there.
Can you tell us where we can get it from?
Right. Well, yeah, my link is icelifebook.com.
Icelifebook.com.
Yeah, the icelifebook.com. That's my link.
Okay.
I'm about to order mine right now as we speak.
So check it out. We're on Amazon. We're on Kindle.
Oh.
Hey, somebody was saying pass on your website or phone number for your gym. So
yeah, that's my boy D Webb. D Weathersby, Michigan State.
Info at WindyCityBoxing.com. Info at WindyCityBoxing.com.
Info at WindyCity.com.
Info at WindyCityBoxing.com.
I'll put it in the chat for you guys. I got it both in the chat for you guys.
And Tanya Johnson was showing you a little love. She said, "What's up, Monty?"
Hey, that's my girl. That's my girl from the Meon.
From the Meon. True.
Respect. We appreciate it.
Man, we sure appreciate you coming and kicking with us for a minute, man. And
man, I appreciate the love, man.
And we will be down to see you, man. Like I said, we got a couple of kids. We think this would be a good outlet for them, you know, dealing with their SEL, the pandemic, everything that's going on. Man, brother, you'd be doing a great service and a great inspiration to our community, man. We thank you.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay, no problem, man. Y'all got my number. Y'all know how to get in touch with me. Hit me up. Let's put something together.
For sure. We're going to hit you up, man.
Respect, bro.
Hey, thank you very much.
Once again, appreciate you. Put your hands together for Montell Ice, Griffin.
Montell, good stuff, brother.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man.
I'll holler at you a little later, man. All right. Yeah,
it is good to see somebody of that stature that has been to those type of heights, that is just a real down to earth, just a down to earth brother. Somebody you can, you know, like, hey, I can reach out and talk to him. I'm on social media. I see him.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad
he's real, Herb.
Yeah.
He's real. We can touch him. We can see him.
Yeah, that's a real dude, man.
Yeah,
he's not just somebody on TV that we idolize and dream about. It's a real cat.
Right.
Much love to him. Respect. Yep. Daniel Weathersby, I have to give a shout out. Thank you, brother, for calling in. We appreciate you. Love the show, man. We appreciate the love.
No doubt.
She went to Simeon. Simeon is deep. Simeon's been representing.
Deep, boy, they're real deep, man. Everybody went to the Meon. But hey, so we got to continue this HBCU conversation we were having the other day.
Oh, we definitely got to take you on that.
Definitely got to finish that, man. But we got a twist this time, though. We got some young people to help us finish this conversation that's actually living it right now.
Younger than me?
Come on, man. You an old dude, man.
I'm in my prime, baby.
Prime what?
Hey, I am ready. I am ready for this. I would love to see, like, man, anybody at any HBCU, you know, T. Nick, Morehouse, man. I don't care where you. Well, I don't know if you went to Bama State. You're gonna get a little shade. Secondary love, but everybody else, nothing but love.
But let's bring them in, man. Let's bring them in now. The young people. I remember when we used to be the young people. We ain't the young people no more.
Man,
we don't know for dear life, T.
That dude Cameron looked like somebody I know.
Who is that?
That dude Cameron looked like somebody I know.
He a baller at NC State.
Oh man, he got the same last name as the coach, the defensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. Look at that.
How y'all doing tonight, fellas?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Chilling, just having a good, good night, relaxing.
Appreciate you taking time out of your balling schedule to holler at us for a second.
I appreciate y'all having me for sure.
What year are you in school?
I'm a senior in the classroom, but I redshirted when I first got to my school in North Carolina Central. So I got 2 more years to play, but I'll be graduating possibly this summer. Yeah, around this summer.
Awesome. That's dope. What's up, Jayla?
A little time left to play.
How you doing, Jayla?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. What school you at?
I go to Prairie View A&M.
Prairie View. Okay, Will said that.
I did say that.
Proud godfather.
Right. You know, I don't have many proud moments in my life, but this is a proud right here, guys.
Oh, that's nice.
I gotta admit, you know, and like I told somebody, I was talking about Jayla. I was like, you know what? I got a lot of people that couldn't call me godfather and everything like that, but this one right here knows she can get anything she wants from just about the success that she's had in life, the things that she's doing. So, you know, I'm always gonna look out for little Jayla.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Jayla, so you write, you're a sports writer for HBCUs, right?
Yes, I just got finished writing for our sports information department at Prairie View, but I took on a fellowship with ESPN and the Undefeated. So I'm writing for them at the moment. And it's funny because I'm actually working on a story about Chris Paul's show with your program, Cameron. So it's weird to see you at the moment.
You know what's funny? I really think I went to school with you.
You went to HS. I recognize. Yeah.
Oh wow! Look at that. Hey,
look at that.
So you was on the show with Chris Paul. What's that show?
It's called Why Not Us. It's like a little docu-series. They followed us. They've been following us the whole season, just to day in and day out of HBCU life, basketball. So the first episode premiered last Saturday, and it's supposed to be about 8 of them. So it's been pretty cool, pretty fun, interesting to get a little taste of that media and that next level. So it's been fun for sure. Chris Paul, he even came around a couple of times. My coach, real good friends with Rasheed Wallace. Andre Miller. So it's kind of good to, hear from those guys who've been at that level, who've been to championships, the highest level, just to hear from them and get good insight and advice, like going to the next level. So, yeah, they follow us basically everywhere. Like sometimes, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of annoying, but in our cribs, at practice, all that. So, yeah, it's definitely a fun project. Shout out to ESPN. Thanking my coach, Lavelle Moden, for sure.
I got a quick question for you, Cameron. You transferred into to where you are right now. Can you tell us how that coming from? You came from. Some people consider Chicago State an HBCU.
HBCU.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and I've kind of said, hey. If that's what they want to be known as, I'm okay with that. But can you tell us how life is now, if it's different.
Okay, so I just tell you the real first and foremost. Like I
I
don't
would
like
like that.
make everything just sound sweet. So honestly, like when I was at Shot State, it was more so for basketball purposes. Like, I'm obviously going to school to get my degree, but I focused on going to that school for basketball because I saw, we played big schools. I could get exposure. I liked the Coach Dildy at the time. So, because I really wanted to get out of Chicago to go to school, and I wasn't really sure back then, PWI, HBCU, like I didn't really know too much about all that. But I would say, like, Shot State, it gave me more so, community college vibes. Like I was 10 minutes from my house, so it was real boring. But when I transferred to NC Central, it was just like a whole different world. Like I felt I'm a junior coming to the school, but I
A
really felt
different
like a
world.
freshman. Like it just I really love HBCUs. Like it's just a whole different vibe, whole different atmosphere. Just getting down there, like people nice, like you just feel more, you know what I'm saying? You feel more comfortable, like everybody supporting you, want to see you succeed, vice versa. I just feel like other universities, like you don't always get that same vibe. Talking to some of my friends and stuff that go to big universities and stuff, it's just like really like school. You come and go. Like as opposed to HBCUs, I feel like it's really like a family. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely like a lot at first. Like I had to lock in and settle down. Like, bro, sit down. You don't need to pop. You don't need to go to this function, this function. Like, it was a lot. It was a whole new world to me at first. But I really enjoy it here. I really do. From basketball to North Carolina is real peaceful, and to my school. So I really like it. I do.
I got it.
Coming from a big city, is NC Central is a small town, college town?
No, it's actually we on Tobacco Road. We in Durham, so we're about 7 minutes from Duke.
Ooh.
15, 20 from NC State, and then 15 from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And we actually played them this year too. And then last year we used to go up to Duke and have like open gyms, so that was fun. Playing with those, competing with those high level D1 guys. So it's been a good experience so far.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. I got a question real quick for both of you. Seeing that both of you, now that we know that you guys got a connection and coming from HF, and HF is, I can't say that it's predominantly white anymore. Don't quote me on that, but it was one of those schools that could have been considered white, and from my knowledge, they do have pretty good programs as far as sports relations. So, what was the transition like coming from that high school and going into your HBCU experience?
For me, I didn't go straight to a HBCU. I went to the University of Texas at Arlington first because my mom was moving to Texas and I wanted to be close to my family. But it wasn't diverse because it was very diverse. Or at least when we were there, I know it was pretty diverse. It wasn't like all black and white. It was like a good mix. That school wasn't a good mix, so it was kind of like jumping from diversity to like a predominantly white institution. It just wasn't. It wasn't what I enjoyed. So coming from diversity to PWI to HBCU was kind of like I got to experience like every side of the spectrum. And I will say that going to an HBCU is probably my most comfortable experience thus far. I mean, having diversity is, of course, always a good thing, but being around people will support you, being around people that look like all the time, it gives you room to grow. It gives you room to, be comfortable and be without judgment. And I think HBCUs are the best experience.
I
You need to talk
definitely
to your guy brother. Then we're gonna have to have you have a talk with him.
for me, I'd say I had a little warm up because I went to HF my first 3 years, and then my senior year I moved to the city with my dad, and I attended Kenwood so Kenwood Academy. So I feel like that was like a little mini preview of baby HBCU, because I'm coming from HF. It's a big school, a lot of teachers and stuff, but we didn't have too many black teachers, black professors. So coming from that to going to Kenwood, where it's majority of the staff is black principal, black assistant principal. I felt a lot more comfortable as just in the HF in the hallways, like just seeing certain people. I didn't feel as comfortable just being able to talk to them as I did when I went to Kenwood and some of my professors there. So I feel like I had a little warm up in terms of getting to know like some sort of HBCU life, HBCU feel. Went from Kenwood to Chicago State, and then to my school I'm at now, NC Central. So I feel like I've gradually had a build up to know those and know the HBCU environment comfortably and enjoy it.
Shout out to the Broncos. I got a quick question about that.
Sure.
Actually, for both of you, Jayla and Cameron, you said you felt more comfortable at Kenwood. How did that translate academically in your studies? Because I have a similar experience where I felt a little more comfortable at one school than another.
I think that actually helped a lot. Not to say, well, like I said, I'll be blatant and honest. When I was at HF, I wasn't the best student. Not to say I wasn't, never smart or anything like that. It's just I was lazy. I wasn't as engaged. The curriculum was a little bit harder, but I feel like attending Kenwood, it kind of gave me like, it made my motivation easier, seeing other people, other kids like me, similar interests, all that. Like if they could lock in, get the job done, excel in their grades, like why can't I too? And it's like with basketball, it's a task to stay eligible as it is. But when I went to Kenwood, it was actually, like I told you, my principals, professors trying to work with me, motivate me, like, come on, let's get this 4.0, this and that. When I was at HF, like, not to say they don't care, but, most teachers not going to go above and beyond, try to reach out to make sure a student is getting the best grade possible. Like, they'll help if the student, asks for help or needs assistance, but rarely do they go out their way. So I feel like it was just a bigger and better support system at Kenwood.
That's what's up. Jayla, how did you can you compare HF to Prairie View, to A&M?
How would I compare the two?
Yes.
In terms of being in the classroom, I do think that I've had a better experience at an HBCU. Not to say people at HF weren't important, but like you said, they weren't the type to, sit you down and talk to you and help you with your grades and, make sure you did well in the classroom. Whereas at an HBCU, that's the experience I've had thus far. Like, for example, I can go talk to my advisor whenever, who also happens to be one of the teachers. So that's cool. And I can just, go talk to him whenever, and he can, help me with my classes, and he can talk me through my degree plan. It's just, with HF, it was kind of like a pipeline in a sense, I want to say. Like their main goal was for you to graduate, but they didn't help you get there. Like the most contact I had with my advisor at HF was kind of picking my classes for the next semester. After that, it's kind of just like, send the next one in. So I think HBCU is more caring, getting you through the classroom. I think they're more caring overall, to be honest with you.
Okay, I have a little bit of an HBCU background experience, and I actually well, go ahead. I'm gonna just let it say what it is. I was lucky enough to go to the best HBCU ever. So
I don't know about all that, man. I don't know about all that.
Okay, well, you got a smartphone? Google it.
I mean, it's gonna say Morehouse. It's gonna say Morehouse. It's not gonna say nothing about Skiki.
I'll let you say that. But you know what? I told Morehouse no. I said thanks, but no thanks.
Nah, no, you didn't. No, you did. No, you did.
I had a very similar experience, and I've had students that have gone both, and a lot of students that have gone the PWI way, that route first, and then they have something to kind of compare it to. And I think one of the biggest things that you can compare it to is like what you guys touched on. Like, I knew my professors. I had a student that was really into engineering and wanted to get into school. I said, hey, I don't really know anybody. I'll give a couple of calls or whatever. So he came and talked to me on lunch, and I called and I said, I'm gonna call the school now. And as luck would have it, one of the professors, and this was, I'm younger than Will and those guys, so it wasn't that long ago. My professor was still there, and when she said her name, I remembered her, and I asked, I don't know if you remember me. She says, I do. And it's not that they don't see thousands and thousands of students; it's that they actually care. I don't think, I went to school in the city, and I went to school in Indiana briefly, so I had that experience where you seem to be a little bit more of a number. And let me tell you this: 1 and 1 is going to be 2, no matter where you go. The experience that you get outside of the classroom and things like that, that's what makes it so valuable. I got a couple of my buddies from school that I see them in the comments now, and one of my best buddies, Ron, his daughter Deja is a student at Tuskegee now. My roommate Reggie, what's up, Reggie? What's up, Ron? I have friends from high school. I talk to them from time to time. These guys from college, from my HBCU days, these guys are like my brothers. I talk to these guys all the time, like every day, about whatever. So you're gonna make some really good friendships. Prairie View A&M, North NC Central. I looked at your schedule, Cameron, and you guys dodged a little bit of a bullet. I didn't see Skiggy on that. I didn't see Skiggy on that schedule.
No, I'm not gonna lie. They don't want to see us.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna have to check with the on the basketball side, but that may be so. That may be so. Shout out to Austin High School basketball coach Troy McGee, Tuskegee legend. I mean, yeah, they had their AI. That was our AI. He came in. Man, Chicago ran the basketball in Tuskegee. I gotta say that. So I'm glad that you guys have had that route. I've had students that didn't even know what HBCU was.
I got more of a social climate temperature check type question. Cam, Jayla, either one want to answer first, it don't matter. Coming from a PWI, right? How is the social effect different? Because social, being at a PWI, I was at Michigan State, like the social atmosphere, like it almost didn't exist. Like if something heinous went on in the world, if a black person was killed or shot, it was almost like that little 6,000 out the 54,000 at their school may have felt it. But the school as a broad, it was kind of just like back page news. How does social, basically current events, how do you feel that guys affects you at an HBCU? Is it more activism? Is it just more knowledge being given? Explain that to me. How does the social effect?
So I will say that at a PWI, I didn't hear anything about social justice, social activism. It was kind of like we were in a bubble almost.
Exactly.
Whereas at an HBCU, so my school isn't very far from where Sandra Bland was.
Okay.
So we actually have a street like going down where Prairie View is. It's actually named after her. So we're always, being taught those lessons. We're always, doing the social justice thing, being socially conscious is like embedded in HBCUs, I think, at this point, especially as time goes on and we see things that happen in the media and we experience things firsthand. So I think, being aware of these things, like it gets deeply embedded in you as you go to an HBCU, while at a PWI, it's kind of like, I think the overall attitude is it doesn't affect us. So we're not going to have as much of a push towards it. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. I felt the same way. Like things are going on and we're like, wait, what happened? Like our biggest thing was Aaliyah died. And that was like the biggest like world breaking news at Michigan State. But like things like, not saying Rodney King, but situations where people were murdered unjustly and stuff like that. Like that wasn't in the news at all. And I'm talking this is the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Late 90s, early 2000s. So Cam, what about you? How's the pulse of social activism down there?
I'd say they definitely make it a priority at my school. This 2021 social media is a big part of life now. So my school, you go on Instagram or Twitter, they have about 15 different types of pages, whether it's, athletics or just fan or community or whatever. So one thing I feel like my school does that I kind of like, I've only attended one, but usually Thursday nights or Wednesday, I can't recall, one day during the week, they'll have like type meeting type settings to really kind of discuss things going on in the Black community, as far as like rallies or any new news or anything. And the whole school community where I'm at, Durham, NC Central, we kind of like, everyone is locked in in the mix. They know what's going on pretty much. But I feel like me personally, even if I didn't, or, I just was oblivious to everything that was going on, I will say that I like that my coach, he does a very good job of like, trying to educate us and teach us how to maneuver and move as a young Black man in 2021. One thing, like if y'all tune into the show, he'll talk about it a lot, and it's really our slogan. Like we have it on shirts, everything, and it's kind of annoying, he always said, but when you really listen to him and stop and think, our slogan, our motto is like earn, not given. So
Right.
I feel like, you already have two strikes against you. Me personally, a Black man, I'm Black and I'm a man in America. So, just with insight with coaches and the whole staff and everything, they're keeping us level headed, showing us how to move, be as cautious as possible. Like we doing one day in practice, before practice start, we doing a little scenario, like a little fake scene, like how to act, if you get pulled over. So
that's key. That's very important in the world today.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll say in the everyday like stuff going on, new news, especially in the Black community, we definitely keep our students in the loop, in the mix, and we make that, an important topic that's talked about.
It's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know what? I applaud the coach because we did, as a group, we all kind of watched the documentary. And that's one thing that really stuck with me throughout the whole thing was how he treated you guys and made sure that you guys knew that you were Black first, that you were Black men, young Black men up in this world, and that he's right. You know what I'm saying? Everything you get is going to be earned. You're not going to be given anything, and that really stuck with me, resonated with me throughout the whole thing. So I really applaud him for giving you that insight to you guys.
Yeah, it's something that's definitely sticking outside of basketball. That's a life lesson. So yeah, I definitely listen when my coach is talking about life and everything. It's just not basketball. It's like man to man, black person in the world, today's world. So yeah, I like my situation a lot. I hope you like yours too, Jayla.
I got one more final question for Jayla. Jayla, you're coming into an industry that we all know is male dominated, as far as with the issues of sports and broadcast and things of that nature. And by the way, I applaud you for your interviews during the Super Bowl. Those were awesome.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
How do you maneuver being a young Black woman, and especially coming from the HBCU in this male-dominated white industry?
To be quite honest, I don't maneuver in such a way. My mother has instilled a type of confidence in me that whatever industry I go into, if I'm good, I'm going to make it. And I know I'm good. Like I know what I'm capable of. I'm better than to be honest with you, probably half of the men coming into the sports industry. So it's not like I'm moving a special way. It's not like I'm, trying to do this to make myself stand out, although I probably should sometimes, but like that's not really my goal. My goal is to keep doing what I'm doing, because what I've been doing thus far is like pushing me into spaces where I can interview Tom Brady for the Super Bowl, or where I can interview Chris Paul for a story. So, I mean, and HBCU has definitely molded me. They've definitely got me in the door in places which I'm always grateful for. But in terms of moving a certain way, it's kind of just like, I'm gonna do what I do.
I love that attitude, Jayla. Love that.
All right. Yeah, man.
Love that.
The confidence is amazing. I love it. I love it. Well, hey.
Excuse me 1 second. It's almost somebody's bedtime. He wanted to say hi to his brother real quick.
What's up, Jordy?
Thank you. Okay, go to bed. He got school in the morning.
Right.
Hey, so real quick, who has the better band? Your school or your school?
Oh, definitely my school.
Probably.
That confidence continues.
I feel like my band is not as good because our football team not good. That's all I say.
Oh man.
But yeah, I've been a work in progress. I say that.
It's a work in progress, huh?
For sure,
Yep.
a work in progress.
I never heard of a HBCU without a good band. That's something.
No, they're not bad. They just, they're not top amongst the others. Like, they don't really compete. But we're not bad.
So ain't no reason for nobody to go to y'all football games. Huh? The football team ain't good, the band is high.
My mom told me if I don't have anything positive or nice to say,
That's a good job. Good answer. Good answer.
Hey, and for all of you all watching that don't know, Cameron's dad is JB, the Bulls insider. If y'all didn't know that.
I mean, how could you not look at the two of them?
I get tagged on Facebook a lot, and it's show not me.
Hey, Cameron and Jayla, we hope to have you all back. We certainly appreciate having you all on tonight. And we appreciate the insight, the commentary. It was entertaining as well as very insightful. So, but you all better get some sleep because I know you got class tomorrow. But once again, appreciate it, and hopefully we can get you back on here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us for sure. I have fun.
No doubt, man. All right, you all take care.
All right, y'all stay blessed. Have a great night.
Good night.
All right.
Yep.
John, you on mute.
No, I'm good. You hear me?
John is on mute. Well,
John. No, I forgot we got two John.
You know what? It's Jayla. We didn't get a chance to get into it, but Jayla, Prairie View State, their football facility, it's off the chain. It's off the chain. I would love to see. I'm going to definitely that's going to be on my short list of making trips. And now NC Central. Hey, I got a nice little tour. Do a little driving, audio book, and just cruise.
Let's do that together, man. Let's do that together.
Irv, I've been down there once, and it's different. It's different.
Good, different?
Nah, like community good, different. Like a utopia could actually happen different.
Okay.
So I was impressed. I was like, yeah, he gonna be all right down here.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. I've never been to Prairie View, but I really want to go, and I've never been to NC Central, so those are some places I can go and check out. I've been to Atlanta, been to Morehouse, and I can say I felt like I was on hallowed ground. You see the statue of Dr. King, the whole AUC. So T Nick has been in the presence of some greatness. So I gotta definitely give it up to all of Morehouse brother.
Thank you, sir.
You know what? It's a different vibe because you're going to school in the city. Whereas,
true.
So if you see like my only and this is crazy because my sister went to Tuskegee, but my only real reference to HBCUs was watching A Different World, and that was set in or School Days. So you'd watch it, and those schools were in college towns, like small towns. So T Nick, you were a little different, man. You went to school in the big city.
Yeah, we did, man. It's so much different now than what it was then. Like the biggest street, one of the biggest streets there, Ashby Street. It's not even Ashby Street anymore. I forgot what it's called, but we was in the SWATs, man. But it's not the SWATs anymore. You know, the Olympics came there in, I forgot what year that was.
96.
Yeah, so they cleaned up all of Atlanta. So it's not even the same as when I was there and we went to Freaknik in 93. It's not the same thing anymore.
Wow.
You know, and yeah, it's I mean, not to say that it's bad. Not to say that it's bad, but it's expensive, you know, and they put up a lot of condos and stuff. They tore down the projects.
I heard they turned Olympic Village into university housing down there.
Yeah.
But I had a question, fellas. We my apologies. Deja 1972 had a nice question. What do you think about others coming to HBCUs, and how is it affecting us, scholarships and culture-wise? I know Cameron and I have talked about that during his transfer period. Irv, Will, T. I don't know if to everybody's degree in high school, because you all got me on a couple of years, but my recruiting was never geared towards HBCU. Mine was always geared to go with whatever D1 has a chance to get you the best job, even sports related, you know? So by me choosing schools, it was like I had an uncle that went to Jackson State, Lester Holmes. I don't know if you all familiar with Lester Holmes, played for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Raiders. But it was like HBCU 1995. I'd rather go to this D1 that's getting their heads busted than go there, because that's the way we were taught, you know, coming from where I was, you know. But what do you all feel about that? Because I didn't have that experience. And over time, you mentioned A Different World. I was like, man, I went to the wrong school.
You know, I think that's an experience that a lot of young people kind of live to regret, for lack of a better term, because I think they have that closed window about that, just as you did at that age. You got to realize that you're a kid that's, you know, 16, 17, 18 years old, and making an adult decision that's going to probably affect you for the rest of your life. And so a lot of times at 16 and 17, all we do see is that glitz and glamour. We don't know what, you know, we don't have the thought process to decipher, like, away from that glitz and glamour. Like, is this the best opportunity for me? I remember when we were I used to work with a company called Cedo Enterprises, and our job was to not only get you into college through sports, through football, I should say, but it was to get you into the best fit to get you through college. That was our motto, to get you through college. And as we talked with a lot of these individuals, young individuals, they had that reservation about doing the HBCU thing, you know, even though they probably, you know, and it was funny because we would see a lot of kids that come and decide, you know, they all want D1s and the PWIs and things like that to come in and play football. And they go, I remember it was one young man that we had that went straight to Kansas, you know, but he had all types of interest from HBCUs. And he just wanted to go do it. And this guy was a guy that was coming from, of course, an all-black environment. He's coming from Chicago Public Schools. And it was just like you just knew that the HBC fit because of he had you know, he was one of those guys that needed that extra push and that extra warmth and things like that, and you just knew that it would probably be the best for him. He got down in Kansas one year and just turned totally against school, you know, not only football but school period, you know. So it's bad to hear those stories. And you know, I think I remember, you're not that much younger than me. I was 93 graduating, so 95, I was 93. John was 67, but he ain't gonna tell you that. And I think we all had that thing, because I had a friend that was talking about Jackson State, and we was like, Jackson State, man, come on, man, that ain't what we talking about. We talking about let's look at this U of I, let's look at and Thornridge was prevalent at the time for Iowa and Iowa State, big recruiting. So it was like that's what we looked at. We was looking at Big Tens and things like that. We didn't want to even hear about them HBCUs. And then actually one of my best friends that graduated, John knows, who introduced John and I, went to a HBCU, and that was probably his best experience. That's what he always talks about, Keegan Jones. So,
And see, I think a lot of that has to fall back on, obviously times are changing now, but those advisors back in our day were pushing the narrative of go to PWIs so that no matter what, that label on your chest was able to get you in the door. Mm-hmm. They kind of front like when you filled out your high school applications, like literally my first 3 applications were to UCLA, Georgetown, and Syracuse. It was like, that's all I knew. It was I'm going to one of those 3 until we found out, how expensive it was and I didn't get recruited. But, having an uncle, like I said, that went to an HBCU, it just never dawned on me like, man, this might be a good fit because my academic advisors in high school were always pushing PWIs.
Mm-hmm. Were those advisors black?
No, I didn't have any.
This whole thing is kind of making me think of what Montell said earlier, that black people don't necessarily support other black people or other black entities. So it's kind of interesting to me to think of advisors that would actually tell students that, these PWIs, you should apply to those. Don't worry about the HBCUs. It's kind of hard for me to even fathom that thought. I had white advisors, so of course, HBCU never came up. That came up on my
black
own.
Counselor, and it never came up. It was like,
really?
Swear to God, black assistant principal, black counselor. No, they were like, whoever's giving you money to go to school, and it's D1, go.
I can see that. I can see them say, well, whoever's going to give you money. I guess maybe it's just hard for me to see if they were saying no, put those to the side. Don't worry about those.
I gotta kind of say I don't see that. I don't think you should look at. I understand you need the money to go to school, but like I said, the goal is to finish school. And especially in the athlete situation, you gotta think about this. You're sending a young man that's never been. That a lot of times some of these young men have never even been downtown and spent the whole day downtown, things like that. But you're going to send them to a totally white environment where they're not going to be comfortable. And now you with the fact that we have to look at if you get a scholarship for athletes, what people don't realize, they always talk about these full rides and things like that. There's no such thing as a true full ride because every year your scholarship has to be renewed.
Correct.
Okay? So once you go down there and you're not fitting the mold, or you're not comfortable in the culture, you're not probably going to perform if you can't get past these little intricacies that's really messing with you. So to say that you're going to follow the money, the money might be there the first year, but that second year, and then what happens when that coach that recruited you left? You understand? And then he looks and says, hey, you're not really fitting my mold right now. I'll take you as a referred walk on. Now you got to pay that money at the beginning, you know what I'm saying, to hope to get a scholarship back and things of that nature. So
there it is.
If I can interject for a moment, I definitely want to say this because my experience, I can kind of see a lot of common points. But I wanted to get back to what Deja 1972 said, and And she made another good point. It says, well, I think this is actually because he hit me on my phone. This is Deja's dad, my one of my best buddies from Ski and a former roommate. He says, I see a lot of whites coming to HBCUs, especially baseball. Yeah, you go to Bethune-Cookman, I don't think there's any black people on the team anymore. Especially that's the truth. ESPN did a story a couple of years ago.
And that's in the MEAC too.
Yeah, they're getting scholarships that would normally go to us. And it's kind of, and I definitely understand that, but I don't have an issue because I definitely think this. I mean, from time to time, you're gonna see a couple of people sprinkled in. It gives us a different perspective. If you see a white guy here, or we had a white quarterback at Tuskegee for a hot second. The kicker was Cuban. So
that was gonna be my next point. Go ahead.
And what happens is that now we can see it from a different perspective. That's how we are at a lot of these schools where you'd be the only black guy in every class. I want to say this. I want to say it real quickly. You've got to experience. Daryl G, who I'm sure that's my guy from Tuskegee. He says nothing like the HBCU experience. It's not, but you've got to experience it. I had the salutatorian of our school from Hales. This guy, man, it's March. He has no idea where he's going to school. Rainbow Push Coalition, a shout out to Rainbow Push Coalition. They were doing an HBCU tour. Of course, there was a cost associated. And I don't know if I have it. Don't worry about it. Just show up. They come down there, everything paid for. Bring the transcripts. If you meet the criteria, you'll get scholarships on site. He got a full ride scholarship to Talladega. And I don't think that students would even know about these schools because you'll end up going to schools that you've never heard of. And I don't want to go because it might seem a little off brand. But when we say, well, it's really about an education, if we really want to be real about it, here's the truth. The truth is a lot of students are being sold a bill of goods. They're being made to think that they're D1 talent. And you know that. I've seen D1 talent. And people, when they see that, they'll be around that kid as soon as they're legally able to. Sophomore year, they'll come and they're sniffing around and this, that, and the other. Well, I'm a diamond in the rough. It's not that many diamonds in the rough. So I get it. HBCUs are unknown. And I think that now with a little bit of social media, and don't get me wrong, most students are going to go pro at something other than sports. So if you can go someplace and if you can parlay an athletic career into paying for or subsidizing your education, I think that would be a good idea. But absolutely. I'm all for going where you feel most comfortable. That was the route that I chose because I had an issue like your son said, JB. He felt more comfortable when he got to Kenwood. I transferred schools my junior year, and immediately I felt more comfortable at Bowen. It was because I was around black people. I was like, cool. Now my grades went up immediately. And I didn't learn to read all of a sudden. I didn't learn to do, I just wasn't as tense. I was a little bit more relaxed and I had fun. And that's how I wanted my college experience to be. So when it was time to go to school and I found out all those schools I saw on TV, man, you know how crushed I was when I found out Illinois wasn't a black school? When I went to visit, I said, wait a minute, the Flying Illini? Stephen Bardo, Marcus, right. All those guys are black. We go to visit. What's this?
Right, exactly.
This is like Thornridge in the 90s. I'm out of here.
Hey, man.
It's true. I mean, you got to say that.
Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
I was just piggybacking out here. Thornridge in the 90s was kind of white. I gotta admit. Kinda, man. Oh well, let's say this. Around the time when we were there, 92, I would say 91 through 93, we started to change, So that was it.
It was Brady Bunch white.
Whatever, man.
Oh wow,
man.
Hey, check this out. I want to talk about the thing about something Karen was talking about. I went to Chicago and it came up here with in the statement about the baseball players. I went to Chicago State, and as you guys already said, that it was a predominantly black school so much that people do consider it at times an HBCU. But we were surrounded by, like white baseball players. Like that's what they would recruit, was the white baseball players. And I knew these guys because I was on the baseball team. And I remember how, we were, most of us that had athletic, this was right before the dorms that were built in Chicago State. We stayed on Cottage Grove, 86th and 87th and what was it? No, it was 80, right, 84th and Cottage Grove. 84th and Cottage Grove, no apartments over there. But the baseball team was placed over there, right across the street from Marist. So, it was something. And that's just the difference it's funny to me how in certain, like our school, Chicago State, was catering to these people, to make a comfort for them. They wouldn't put them over there on 84th and Cottage Grove with the rest of us, so that was something. Another thing I want to talk about is, man, when y'all gonna get some black kickers in the HBCUs? I mean, every kicker I see in the HBCU is not black. What is it? Is that the push that we need to do to start to, so that we don't be giving away these scholarships to others? Because I don't know. Like, I go to these games and that's the one person I see sticking out is always either a white kicker or some kind of Hispanic.
Well, I think there's been a meeting on that, and there's come to a consensus. They're going to get all black kickers at HBCUs when these PWIs get all white cornerbacks. That's how we're going to figure that out. But hey, it is. And that's what it is. It is what it is. The game is the game. The game is going to tell you, you know what? If we stereotype people, we're wrong. I need somebody that's going to play the game. If this guy can cover better than this guy, I don't care what color he is. But the truth of the matter is, at some point in time, you got to raise these guys up to say, hey, I want to be a kicker. Man, I can't remember the guy's name. He was the kicker for the Raiders. He came from Fort Valley State.
Marquise, what was his name? God bless him. I know exactly who you're talking about. But he was labeled a head case. Let's not talk about that.
I can't remember his name, but I can only think of if it was him, and then way back in the day, Reggie Roby.
Yes.
Yep.
So it was like only two.
And here's the thing. I definitely get it. Because you know what? Sometimes it's a little bit lazy. You say, hey, these are the guys that can kick. We'll get a guy. We had a Haitian kicker. Anybody, if you speak English, no, man, we good on that. But I don't know. It is what it is. But I definitely see the push coming. Tanya Johnson says her baby was accepted by 11 HBCU schools through Push. Push is and they advocate. They advocate and they push HBCUs to students. And a lot of these students are saying, hey, I'm a little bit aimless, not in a disrespectful way, but I don't know where I want to go. And I'm not really sure. They want to take a year off. I'm going to take a gap year. And they say, well, come down and visit. And they do show a lot of, they come down at different times and they see a lot of ceremony and a lot of stomp the yard type stuff. And they say, you know what? Hey, I might be able to do this. And then after a while, they realize, you know what? I'm here. I'm having fun. Let me learn something. Let me join some things. Let me parlay this experience in this HBCU experience into a grade A education. Once I decided, after I visited Tuskegee, that's where I wanted to go. The only schools I applied to were HBCUs. I applied to every one of them. I got accepted by all of the schools. And then on my way to Tuskegee, on the way out the door, the phone rang. Who is this? Morehouse. I told y'all, stop calling me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's funny, man.
No, you know what, man? I'm going to tell you this. Prior to going to Tuskegee, I think Grambling State, Jackson State, Tuskegee, those were probably the only schools, and Howard, those are the only black schools I even knew anything about.
Really?
When I went to A.D.S. McKinley and they started throwing like, here, fill out Mississippi Valley State, fill out Alabama State, fill out. I was like, what? I was like, okay, I guess. But now I don't think you can't really you throw an HBCU school at me, and I've heard of them before. You know what? Some of them they're not really on our network. You know, say when it comes to the competition, we beat up on them every. You know,
all right.
In what
dark path? We about to go down that dark path.
Lacrosse. In lacrosse, hockey,
more stop. You know what I'm saying?
Volleyball.
We own Morehouse.
Oh, okay.
I think Tupac was alive the last time we lost to Morehouse.
Oh no!
Wow!
Oh,
well, and with that, let's just go ahead and end this HBCU conversation. Next week, though, man, I don't think J.R. and Will, I don't think you are gonna make it it's on the Wednesday.
Oh man.
No, we got Lib. Marcus Liberty.
Woo!
On 224. We still gonna come back 223 though. We're gonna try to get Mr. Emilio back in here.
Okay.
You know, he only had a second, then he had a family emergency he had sent to. So we're gonna try to get him back in here, 223. JB, the Bulls Insider, you give us a little Bulls info. So we have
because I'm about ready to get Billy Donovan up out of here already. That's just me.
Already, man. Billy
already, dog. Damn.
That's just me.
He just got here.
We wasting talent, man. We wasting talent.
Wow.
I'm hearing that.
So yeah, we having a doubleheader on the next week. So hopefully you all that are viewing now. Hopefully you view next week. This doubleheader, man, is gonna be a good one. So, but yeah, this is the show where we think we know everything. We don't know shit.
We don't really know.
We don't know shit. So for JI
tonight, man.
Huh?
Good talk to you guys tonight, man. Good conversation.
Great conversation, man. Great conversation with Montell. Great conversation with Jalen Cameron. Man. But I think we should
have a good one, Tanya Johnson.
Right.
Maybe we should continue this HBCU conversation Tuesday, 223.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. But for JI, Big Will, JB, the Bulls Insider, we out.
Shout out, guys. I meant to shout out my cuz. I'm sorry, cuz. I meant to get you. Shout out.
Yeah, cuz. Oh, shout out Konisha. Konisha was getting big love yesterday from everybody. Shout out Konisha, boy. Definitely.
Dubs.
All right. We out. Deuces.